Open Minds is a concept presented to you jointly by TEN, the Entrepreneurs Network, and KYT, Know Your Town, the English edition and Thane's first community magazine from Thane Vaibhav. The intent and the objective of Open Minds is, to help the audience open their minds to different concepts, what is happening around the industry, how you can make use of that knowledge to increase yourself, to improve yourself individually. And for this, what we do is we invite corporate honchos, we invite established entrepreneurs, we may invite startups to share their knowledge, to share their experiences basically, so that we can all benefit. To set the whole perspective, I would like to present an audio-visual about what TEN is all about. And further to that, we will start with a formal program. Before that, I request the founder of TEN, Deepak Kapoor, to kindly welcome the guest of honor for today, Mr. Satish Utekar. Sir, it's a gesture from us. Thank you for accepting our invitation. It's okay. We'll do that. We'll do the photo ops too. Right. I request Pinkesh to kindly play the audio visual of TEN, Thane, Maharashtra's major industrial town, fastest growing and slated to be the most happening commercial hub. Over the last decade, Thane has grown from a small suburban town to a large self-sustaining metropolis. Proximity to the financial capital of the country has extended ample opportunities to Thane.
Structure, low cost of operations, and ample business opportunities, Thane has seen a surge in the number of business ventures in the last few years. Businesses came up in industrial areas like Wagle Estate and Majivada, as well as development in residential and commercial projects on Godbandar Road gave further impetus to the growth of business in Thane. Over a period, Thane has seen opening up of various business avenues like real estate, IT and web-enabled services, engineering, manufacturing, fashion, as well as art and entertainment. With growing opportunities and upcoming business ventures comes the growing need for business networking to learn, explore, connect, and share avenues for mutual growth. Welcome the Entrepreneurs Network. The Entrepreneurs Network, popularly known as TEN, was established in the year 2010 with the intent of providing a platform for entrepreneurs to share experiences, learn from and educate fellow entrepreneurs, and generate business opportunities for mutual growth. Our motto, connect, breakthrough, prosper. TEN is a platform for entrepreneurs from different business fields to come together. Members contribute connections, ideas, and time to help TEN grow. Members are rewarded with training workshops, insights, networks, and camaraderie offered by other like-minded entrepreneur members. 10 members meet every Wednesday from 7:15 am to 9:45 am at a pre-decided venue. The meeting is attended by members as well as by visitors invited by members. We learn about each other's business model by having members present themselves before all attendees. In the last 5 years of its existence, TEN has provided a robust platform to its members for learning and sharing through weekly meetings, one-to-one interactions, as well as addresses by internal and guest speakers. TEN, in strategic partnership with Nalanda International Management School, has brought in quality content through forums like Samanvay, a research on business of a member, and case study presentation with a mature entrepreneurial audience for objective discussions and learning. As we move ahead on this path of connecting for mutual growth, we look forward to more hands more heads and more hearts to come together. So if you are an entrepreneur who understands and wants to deal with the pressures of entrepreneurship in a prepared and confident manner, you should join 10. Be a part of 10. Connect, break through, prosper. Thank you, Pinkesh. That was 10 for us, friends. Now moving on to the day's program. Pinkesh, kindly help me with the presentation. There's only one presentation though. Yep. So today we are talking about towards sustainable growth, where the managing editor of KYT, Nikhil Balal, will help us open minds with Mr. Satish Utekar, the ex-CEO of TJSB Bank. I invite both of them to kindly come and take center stage. Yes, sir. While they get settled here, I would quickly talk to you about the background. This is with the intention of building a perspective about what the discussions or the dialogues are going to happen. Mr. Satish R. Utekar, an illustrious banker, started his career
towards cooperative banking. 20 years of his association with the Thane Janata Sahakari Bank transformed it from a local to a global banking institution. It is proudly referred to today as TJSB. He brought about an amazing transformation, multiplying the bank's business by over 40 times. He joined as an assistant general manager in the bank in 1995 and was elevated to managing director and CEO position in September of 2014. During 20 years of his tenure, the bank's business reached a landmark of rupees 11,500 crores from 200 crores. The cluster of branches enhanced to 117 from 7 during his period, creating a strong presence in Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka and Gujarat. Excellent management of the bottom line contributed greatly in substantially increasing the net worth of the bank from rupees 15 crore to rupees 667 crores. 667 crores. The bank also holds topmost audit classification and CAMELS rating of RBI and an A2 plus CRISIL rating, denoting safety of the investors' money in bank. Under his leadership, the bank has bagged the following awards, which has been put up on the slides.
Innovation in marketing, innovation in self-service, innovation in branch upgradation, the best merger and acquisition. And as we see these, I think people in the audience who are customers of TJSB Bank, I see those nods happening that yes, they have been receiving, they have been beneficiaries of these, and that's why the award is absolutely justified. So congratulations, sir, first of all from all of us. We now delve into certain personal achievements.
To work as a representative of the urban cooperative banks and a member of the managing committee of the Indian Banking Association. He was also awarded with the prestigious Thane Bhushan Award by the Municipal Corporation and also received appreciation as an icon of Thane in the year 2013-14. Presently, he has been appointed as the alternate chairman on the IBA Committee on Urban Cooperative Banks for the year 2014-15. As a representative of the cooperative sector on Indian Bank Association, he is the most sought after by his peers for sharing his wisdom on business plans to be adopted by the banks in the cooperative sector. His personal achievements, we just saw his personal achievements, his key contributions. Now this is very relevant to the entrepreneurial audience here. The contributions that he has made, how we can draw parallels to our own business establishments, to our own business activity that we are individually involved in. He put in place documented policies in important areas such as credit, treasury, technology and operations. He introduced manuals in areas such as credit, operations, accounting, technology, etc. He created a compliance culture amongst the employees. The excess CRAR was leveraged in proper manner by handling inorganic growth path and acquiring two Pune-based banks. Centralized and specialized cells were created in respect of credit, back office functions and MIS to increase efficiency and fast delivery of products. Introduction of various systems of credit appraisal, monitoring to effectively manage credit quality as well as ROA. This helped reducing the gross NPA below 3.58% and the net NPA at just 0.40%. He introduced cross-selling of products and made tie-ups with other institutions for increasing fee-based income. He effectively implemented TJSB car booking as a product which helped increasing other income. TJSB incidentally is the first bank in India to launch the car booking product. He handled project management in respect of Sidco tenements effectively, which helped increasing other income of the bank, and more importantly, the bank could also get proper mileage for enhancing its customer base. He re-engineered the business processes to adapt to the new and sophisticated technology. He made the bank equipped with sophisticated technology, and the bank now offers IT consultancy and data sharing services to smaller cooperative banks. He initiated people management activity to strengthen the bank's HR and kept the bank staff motivated. And with strategic decisions, he focused on long-term vision. Investment portfolio was built during this period, which delivers the highest ROI in the cooperative sector. TJSB, the first bank in India to declare audited results on 10th of April for 4 consecutive years under his leadership, launched Visa debit card and mobile banking services for customers, became the first cooperative bank to start 24/7 e-lobby for customers having ATMs connected to NFS, check deposit machine, cash acceptance machine, multifunction kiosks, etc. And during the tenure as Managing Director and CEO, he developed the vision for the organization on the parameters of growth strategy, flexible business strategy, and creating sustainability. I now hand over to the Managing Editor of Know Your Town, Nikhil Ballal, to help Openminds with Mr. Satish Utekar. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandhya. A very good evening to all of you. Myself, Nikhil Ballal, on behalf of 10 and Know Your Town, I welcome you all to the second edition of Openminds. Well, today we have a man with us who is not just a banker, but also a great cricketer. He is as cool as Captain MS Dhoni, and he has led the team TJSP from the front to achieve the pinnacle of success. He has also been able to tackle the scorecard from 500 crores to achieve a target of mammoth 12,000 crores in mere a decade. From leading banks to all the other cooperative banks, all are trying to emulate his success formula. We are very lucky to have him today, this evening. Let us please welcome him once again, the man behind the success of TJSP, Mr. Satish Utekar. Thank you, sir, for being a part of this evening. Sir, firstly, we would like to ask you that you started your career from a very lower rank, and then ultimately you were able to achieve that coveted position. Did you ever visualize yourself to see yourself sitting on that chair of the CEO?
First of all, it's really a great pleasure to be here. The concept we started with for Open Mind. I also take this as an opportunity for sharing my experiences and thoughts. What is the biodata, the profile you have given? It's just a achievement because of my team and all. It's not an individual achievement. But then creating an organization is also as an experience. That transition is quite great. Nikhil, your first question is that when I joined, I started my career, I started as a clerk. And then ultimately everybody dreams about reaching to a top position. So that time I was really having in mind that I should be a senior position, not the number one position. But then after some time, when I started working as a banker, so one thing I understood that banking is not a bureaucratic job, it's an entrepreneurship. And banking is a business. So if I can do a business, I can be a good banker. So ultimately, end of the day, if I am reaching to certain targets, I'm doing a strategic business plan. So when I understood that this is a business, and at a very early stage, I got a lot of opportunities to work for different business opportunities, and that has given me insight and then to look up to the big picture. And those were the days when maybe it's my luck that I was given an opportunity to work as an investment banker. And that time I attended a lot of say lectures and conferences where it was really an honor for me that time to listen to Mr. Rangarajan or Mr. K.V. Kamath and all those were really a great person. So after listening to them, after say starting a career, I thought that I can certainly achieve that goal. So I was always aspiring for that. So not at the beginning, but that was my dream.
So as we know that successful people don't do different things, but they do things very differently. So in your case, what were some things that you did very differently which ultimately made you achieve the success?
The most important thing is that to understand my business. That is most important. So when I started my career as a banker, normally it happens I share with my colleagues also. Just for example, see normally a banker who is into we can say trading into the money. So he deals with the money. So he always feels that he is a okay.
It's okay.
Hello. Hello?
Yeah.
You can hear me. I think this is required.
So you use that Curtis name also.
Hello? Okay? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's best.
Okay. So, it's like understanding concept of a banker. I used to share with my colleagues also that when we work as a banker, so what do you feel? The person who is coming to me for borrowing. So normally the behavior of a banker is that the person who is coming for taking money must be having some plan where there are certain lacunas, must be intending to take money, take away the money. And then the attitude of a banker, normally the person who handles the credit, the attitude is that I am there as the boss. And when I am lending, he is the taker. So then, whenever we started growing, it was a transition for Thane Janata to TJSB. So that time, one culture I tried to build up that the person who is coming to take money or borrow money for doing entrepreneurship, do you know he is, in a lot of times we see that where is the God? I personally find any entrepreneur is a God. Because he is taking all kinds of risk, and then he is borrowing for against his own personal guarantee and taking all the risk to create an organization, to create an employment for so many. But ultimately, end of the day, if there is the venture is unsuccessful, then the banker is going to recover money from the entrepreneur, not from any other person. And if he is not taking money from the bank, how are we going to survive? How are we going to get our own salary and then my business model will not run? So let us look to the customer as a God, and particularly those who are really coming for borrowing. Now it is how to handle or assess this. I think looking to the business opportunities differently, that is most important. So that is what the role I always pursued. Customer is not only a king, but only because of the customers we are existing. Our very existence is only because of the customer. and then how the customer satisfaction can be achieved. Then to create an organization with certain business principle, but then ultimate focus is the customer-centric processes. That is most important. I think that we started doing, and then ultimately the results are set. Means your whatever the business turnover increased to 12,000 crores, or it may. I am not up. Means I will not be surprised if it in another 3-4 years time we will be reaching to 25,000 crores. That is how the business model is structured. So achieving 25,000 crores is now easy, but then creating a culture that is different and a strategic plan. So that is what we do.
Talking about the culture, as you rightly said, like how to change the perception. Like you change the perception of looking at a cooperative bank. Like the transition from Thane Janta Sahkari Bank to TJSP, I'm sure it must have been a very Herculean task for you. So can you elaborate on that?
That we have nationalized banks which have been there is a stake, government stake. So people always feel that nationalized banks is the safest way of dealing. By keeping money with national bank, I will not be losing. That is the perception everybody carries today as an investor also. Then we have private sector banks where there is a differentiation between new generation private sector banks and old generation private sector banks, and then cooperative banks. The cooperative banks, these are the organizations which are basically in India the debtor-driven organizations. Debtor-driven organization is the borrower becomes the shareholders and he then elects the board members. That is now recently changed. The borrower cannot be a board member. So naturally, these are all the local organizations. And then when I had taken a charge of my organization, Thane Janta, it was a 7 branches bank and 163 crores of business. And then to my top management board, we were discussing about this organization. What should be the strategic direction of the organization? That time the financial reforms were tabled in 1992, and then second reform started in 2000. So that time we just were discussing what will be the strategic direction of the organization. The strategic direction means whether we would like to emerge as a corporate bank or as a retail bank. So let us decide that. I think for any business enterprise, it is most important to have a strategic goal and strategic direction. Unless and until we understand that, what is my strategic direction, and then it has to be divided into 3 parts. One is that the short term, medium term and long term. So we must know what is the long term goal, and then accordingly you can plan yourself. For Thane Janta, we carried out, because to change a culture it was really a difficult task, and it was there are some people sitting over there, they know Thane Janta. I think your father also is very much aware of it. Changing culture means from changing a dress code also. Means asking your branch manager to come with a banker's dress, have a nice shoes, or then slowly going towards having a blazer and all. We will find my all executives are wearing blazers and all. So changing even the dress code also, because when you are having a certain dress code, your minds start working differently. So that is how the culture has to be changed, and then understanding the business processes, and the most important is the improving the communication to the last person. Means I personally feel, because after my retirement, many of the corporates approached me, and then they were asking me to work as a board member or the corporate advisor. So as a banker, as a financial person, I said that I am not going to manage your funds or anything, but what do you do? How do you find out that I too work as a corporate advisor? And then I am working with 2-3 listed companies now. So there, when I started working on that, what I found that the strategy of the management is not properly drawn and it has not reached to the last person. That is most important. In my organization, that was the biggest challenge, because whatever we are deciding at the top level, so ultimate execution comes to the execution team, and then there has to be proper, we can say, structuring among the human resources also. I may be the owner, say, like in my organization, I may be the managing director while framing a policy, but ultimately execution will be done by branch manager and taking staff. So if that coordination and communication is not proper, then all your business policies, strategies and everything will fail. So that is most important. I think changing culture was a tough task, but then one thing I personally believe that everyone wants to prosper. That is most important. So the last employee, like my, say, we can say, you, he also wants to lead a good life. Then everybody would like to work in an organization which has been recognized by the society. So wherever he goes, that now suppose my employee, my staff goes to for a simple training also, meeting some other banker with colleague. So that time if he is working with TJS, he said I am working with TJS with the branch manager, he feels proud. So creating that feeling, so changing culture is a difficult task, but absolutely not impossible. But one has to take initiative for that. Then only all your business strategies, business policies will be successful. Because people only can change and team only can change. I said that it is my team who has created this organization. So I was only leading them. But ultimately their contribution one cannot forget. So it's a teamwork all the time.
Like you're talking about strategy and you're talking about planning, about a plan. So many a times entrepreneurs have a certain plan with them, but often it happens that it is not executed at the lower level or by their workers. So was it difficult for you also, were the employees rigid to take or accept the vision which you had at that time?
Yeah, it was difficult. I remember in 2001, we made a small presentation about a budget. We were having a total branch network of around 14 branches. So what I thought that let us not sit here in Thane. Let us go outside Thane. We were not having the branch network outside. And our people were always having in mind that we are a local bank, let us stay in Thane. So that was the mindset. Nobody wants to look to a bigger picture. And then I had taken a conference there at Nasik, at Manas, Igatpuri, we have a Manas resort. So there I made a presentation about that. In by 2007, 2008 we can reach, have a business mix of around 5,000 crores. That time our size was hardly 500 crores. So it can be easily achievable. There is a potential. Then it was very difficult for somebody to buy. 5,000 crores was a big figure for them. And then everybody started criticizing us. Then the only option is that to create a documented business plan. For 6 months or almost for a year, it was difficult to sell my all ideas to even my board also. They were saying that this is all means you are dreaming. It is not possible. But believe me, in 2008 we crossed 5,000 crores. That was means economy was having that potential. But the transition was really difficult. But then one instance I'll just share with you, see how the communication is important. And then first of all, what we did while planning, the ownership is passed on to the ultimate to the dealing staff. We form a group of top management, like senior management at the board level, then executive level, and at the dealing staff level. And then we prepared a small booklet asking them, doing a SWOT analysis of the organization. And that entire, whatever the feedback given by all the team members, that was we shared with everybody, all employees. And the result was that people said, yes, we can emerge as a retail bank and local bank. So there are national level banks, international banks, but there is no local bank which can provide all kinds of services which are available under one roof and emerge as the strongest and sustainable organization. So then the plan was drawn and it was communicated to them that let us create a network, because only having branches in Thane you cannot survive, because economy says, the economy, if you go through the theory, it's the theory part of it, the economy says that if you are on a flat surface, there are all chances you will be having a declining graph. But always if you want to remain in the competition or even remain in the business, you have to have a growth strategy. Because the simple thing is that when you created an organization, you have certain cost, already you have fixed the cost. So that is one, I think those I think finance people will understand it. That there is a fixed cost and it always goes up. And then you have a variable to keep the organization alive. So if you are not growing, you cannot meet both ends. So that is most important. That was communicated to the employees. If you want to prosper, then the growth is necessary. And then how the business will be grown. If you attend to the customers properly, because they are the people, they are going to give you business. One example I told you, how to take this forward and communication to the last employee. One fine morning I received a call from one of my customers from Rabodi branch. Rabodi area, we have a branch. That I'm availing a housing loan of say 50 lakhs rupees. I'm working in IT, and then recently I received some incentives and bonus. I made a prepayment of 5 lakhs rupees, and then I'm asking a counter clerk to reduce or realign my EMI. So, but they say that there is no policy. We cannot realign the EMI. Then he asked me to meet the branch manager. The branch manager said, no, we don't have the guidelines, we cannot realign the EMI. My scheme is like this, whatever EMI is fixed, it is for 20 years. He said, I made a prepayment also, then you can certainly reduce my EMI. The branch manager is not listening to him and nobody was giving him any response. Then ultimately he called me. And this is really surprising that your people are not doing this and you have such a rigid organization. And I just called the branch manager. It's a simple thing. Means it's a general knowledge. Why, if somebody is prepaying you, why can't you realign it? The manager did not answer me. He said, okay sir, I'll do it. Then I was just thinking why this happened. And then realized that I don't have a documented policies also. I don't have a proper guidelines issued for housing loans. Then I called an executives meeting and then this is what is happening in the organization. My branch manager is not in a position to answer. So who is at fault? And I said that it is my fault. It is the senior executive who is at fault because he has not given a proper guideline considering all kinds of aspects. So when you are creating a product, so let us work on the product in such a fashion so that all situations are considered and the executive team is aware what is to be done. And then we started issuing proper communications to the all employees, and then customer satisfaction level started improving. So I think that is most important. Only having strategies, business plan may not work. Means in my present organization, I will not quote the name of the company. It is around 200 crores company. So they have given jobs to KPMG and said we want to become a 500 crores company. And then KPMG has done all studies and then we adopt these practices. But then whatever findings are there in KPMG, that has to be transformed. That has to be communicated to the last employee, those who are working at the shop floor. He is not aware. He is not aware. And he is not aware that company management wants to take this company to 200 crores to 500 crores company. So if suppose it becomes a 500 crores company, naturally there is a prosperity for me also. So if they understand it, then I think everybody starts sacrificing. That is what is the transition, I think. That's what you call. As I said that change was a difficult task, but it is not impossible. It is possible.
So we heard people were not ready to change, like some incidents what we heard was like people were not ready to wear the suit or the tie initially. It was very tough to convince them. Some were not ready to speak in English also. So how tough it was?
It was really tough. Means see, when you are in banking business and for any business, English is a commercial language. So you cannot say Marathi is Abhiman hai. So that is okay. But then English is a commercial language. So you need to speak in English. That the initial stage in 2002-2003, all my 427 employees has gone through basic English classes. That has been sponsored by the bank. How to adapt, how to speak, how to means the communication and all. And then slowly, I started from myself having a threshold, and then made it compulsory to the executive and then to the branch manager. So there are a lot of hue and cry, like why you want to have a tie. Anybody is coming to you, your organization becomes now 1,000 crores, 2,000 crores. Those who wants to borrow 10 crores, naturally they will be having a turnover of 50 crores, 60 crores turnover. And when he comes to you, and if you are not in a proper dress code, right, how you will create a confidence? So that was, but sometimes you have to make it compulsory. I made it compulsory for somebody, for the executives also. Those who are not wearing suits, they ask them to go out of the meetings and all. But now they started understanding, because now the bank can lend up to 200 crores to any single party. So the person or the corporate is coming to you with 200 crores requirement. You don't have proper offices and then dress code and all, who will come to you? That is one of the confidence level is there. And second important thing is that the business strategy was that we should emerge as a sustainable organization and create an investor confidence. Because ultimately we are playing with the depositors' money. We are trusted to the depositors. So how depositors will have a confidence in the organization? So how the organization is presented? Normally we say that it is marketing. Marketing is that creating awareness. So how the organization is presented. So that is why not only financial parameters, but your look and feel of the branches, your dress codes, then your then how you deliver to the customer. That is most important. The presentation in all forms. That is most important.
So usually the reading habits, like if a person is reading a particular newspaper, it is very difficult for him to change his habit to read some other newspaper. Same as pretty much applicable with bank also. Like people have a habit to do transaction with a particular bank. They develop a relationship with that branch manager. Or so how difficult it was to change the habits of the people, of the customers basically.
In 2001, when we have drawn a plan to become first our target was, the midterm target was to emerge as the strongest local bank of Golden Triangle. Golden Triangle means Mumbai, Pune and Nasik. This is called as the Golden Triangle. So let us emerge as the strongest local bank. And local bank, the definition is that local banks will be easily approachable to the customers. Customers can directly come to you, but all offering all kinds of technological and all kinds of services. So that is the concept of local bank. It is not local bank is not offering any services. My bank is the authorized dealer. So we are among 3-4 cooperative banks who are the authorized dealers. So so that strategy was adopted, and then we started working on the strategy. Most importantly, the financial parameters we built in such a fashion. You can say the business concept was that the first concept we have drawn, that it is always our business will be driven by a bottom line management. Which any transaction, anything, any activity will be doing will be a commercial activity. So it is a cooperative bank. Cooperative bank is only a cooperative bank for the sake of registration. It is not a social organization, because we are accepting deposits of the customers, so we should provide them a safety. So it should be our strategy was the bottom line management, and as a result of bottom line management, you will have a top line growth. It is not only a top line growth, but the top line growth has to be converted into bottom line management. So the strategy was built. I think I missed your question.
No, we were talking about changing the habits, like of the customers. So you
and then with this strategic planning, and then we started to emerge as a retail bank. So who are going to be our customers? We are not going to emerge as a corporate bank. It is not possible. After say 10 years time, we can think of being a corporate bank. So then who are our customers? So we started documenting it. Our customers are from the resources side, it is the middle class or lower middle class. Let us not touch HIG. Those who are coming to us, we will be offering them a specialized services, specialized product, and we can say green channel services. But then our basic focus will be to the middle class. And then for deployment strategy, for lending, we concentrate on SME, professionals, and then personal and retail products. So for resources mobilization, when we want to create a customer-centric organization, so let us create a facility for customers. So that was what then we adopted a technology is the only way. Technology is the only way. I shared with you that the business strategy with the bottom line management, top line growth will be the result, then customer-centric organization. So with this all, by creating a channel for customer satisfaction has to be an effective channel. And then naturally we have to have a proper processes for that. So we started adopting technology in such a fashion so that the customer is satisfied. Adopting technology also was the result of our business strategy. When we say for instance, the middle class who is working in a port area or Nariman Point area, staying in Thane or staying in Mumbai, so how the services will be made available for 24/7 and at the holidays also. So we started creating a e-office, then delivery channels for it. So the customer satisfaction level slowly started increasing. We were the first bank to install ATMs. We were the first bank to install check depository machines. We were the first bank to install cash deposit machine. So customers' needs were considered while implementing technology. Then once you adopt technology, every business has to be with this automation. Any manufacturing activity also, if you are going for automation, you need to have a proper mapping of people and then giving awareness to your customer. So changing customer habits was also a challenge, because then you have to take the customers from manual banking to digital banking. So driving them to the digital banking was again a challenge. So that process also was adopted. Many of them have registered. But then slowly people, we started giving education, awareness campaign to the customers, and then how it is easy. There's a lot of efforts we have taken, and the customer habits have changed. Then many times there is some class of customers, like one example I will give. If suppose there is a current account holders, the business community will understand. You have a current account for your business purpose. You are keeping a good balance, the average balance of 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 10 lakhs of this balance. And then you are only expecting that my banking activities to be attended properly, and I need not bother about activities. I am keeping a balance where I am not earning any money. But there are certain customers, particularly trading community, they keep average balance of say 10,000, 20,000. But every day they issue around 25, 30 checks. And so whenever there is a check presented, they will require a services from the branch manager or the staff to call them that these are the funds requirement, and he will say that you return some checks or keep some checks pending. At the end of the day, I will make the deposit and all. During the process, 90% staff was engaging, attending those customers who are contributing to my only 2% business. 90%. And then those who are contributing to 90% of the business, but they are not attending because they are disciplined customers and giving really a clean business. So slowly we change the attitude. These customers are given understanding that unless and until there is a balance, we will not honor their check. And then the checks, we started dishonoring the checks. And there was few of my board members also, they were under the impression that this strategy may not work, and then bank may lose a customer base and bank may have a bad reputation also. But then ultimately it happened, my current deposits is increased by nearly 10-12%, because the satisfied customers started banking actively, and those who were not are taking benefits of these services. So there was a awareness, or we can say changing habits of this customer. That was the biggest challenge. And any change people love. Any change people. So a lot of resistance was there. But now today everybody is happy. I think changing customers habit. And adopting technology, we are into digital world today. So those efforts are paying dividends now. Because young generation like you will not like to come to the branch. You would like to bank on the digital platform with me. So those efforts are not paying dividends. I was sharing something with him that adopting technology, we did a lot of business processing engineering. Means that there has been, we received a lot of rewards for that. But in one sentence I can say my productivity has increased like anything. So it is all converted into bottom line. Means everything is added to the bottom line. How? Because my productivity was, per employee productivity was around 50 lakhs rupees. Today we reach almost 15 crores per employee. So that is how it is added. And secondly, my per transaction cost was that time, manual it was 27 rupees. We almost have taken it to almost 4 rupees to 5 rupees. And target is to take it to the 50 paise. So then means increasing top line, improving customer services, and ultimately the business targets are achieved with a lot of profitability. So say our network is almost crossed 800 crores. And recently the Reserve Bank of India has declared, they have a discussion paper, the policy is almost adopted. The committee has been appointed in the Deputy Governor's chairmanship. And they have given a proposal to the government, and it is under consideration, maybe tabled in this Lok Sabha also, that few of the cooperative banks should be allowed to be converted as a private sector bank. Few of the cooperative banks. For which the case study was taken of TJ. When the policy is declared, it is the first bank to get such an opportunity to convert as a private sector bank, like ICICI or SBI. But this is all business strategy, and the team efforts have made it possible.
So most of the times you're talking about technology, and you have emphasized on how technology is important in any business. So how did you harness technology, and also you could balance the human resources at the same time? What you did?
See, having technology and using technology, that is something different. I can have technology, but how to use technology? Because having a right technology, correct technology, that is one part. And secondly, using technology also second part. Because there are a lot of, we can say, aspects involved in it. Not only my employees, but the customers, and then processes also. So, in this digital world, what I personally think is that is what we did. We all the time we are doing a mapping of my own people also, and then continuously training, retraining people, either classroom training or even through digital platform also. We started training people also. So manpower was mapped in such a fashion, like I just give an example. Our Nopada branch is a flagship branch. The Nopada branch today business maybe the single branch is I think almost 70 to 75% cooperative banks are smaller than this branch. Yes, 1200 crores branch. And when I joined, the total staff strength of this organization, that time the branch was around 85 crores branch, and the staff strength was around 127. Today with the business process reengineering, means now the branches are the customer relationship centers. So customers are only required to come to the branches only for getting some information. Some senior people come to the branch for transaction, but nearly 80% people come for taking information. They are not coming for operations. So now today with 1200 crores of this business, we have only 42 people managing this account, 42%. So this is how the productivity is increased. Then how it was possible? Means only technology will not help. Then doing the business process re-engineering, we have taken many of the activities at the back end. So what is happening to this place in Bangladesh today? It is declared as the IT zone. So many of the banks, like SDFC is having a bigger office here. So many of the banks are taking those systematic way, they are doing their existing processes review and all, and taking much of the work to the back end. So in the digital world, for any financial institution, you must have a strong back end. At the front end, you only contact center. You go to any bank of SDFC and all, they are really a techno-savvy bank. So there you will find the biggest branch, they have 6 to 7 people working. Whereas in nationalized bank you cannot find this scenario. It is a reverse scenario. But then HDFC is the highest productivity we can say number 1 bank in the country today. So this is how the technology and manpower mapping is done. Many of the activities, suppose now the credit. For credit, those who are borrowing more than a crore of rupees and all, their requirements are different. So they need to be attended by the persons who are knowledgeable. So we created a centralized team everywhere. Instead of having those activities in the branches, the credit is now centralized. So the person is also facilitated to go to the right people and then take an advice, and then his request is processed properly. Then there is a time limit given to them. That within 7 days time, 5 days time, we should deal with the proposal, which was not possible at the branch. So the back end is created. So the business process re-engineering, it is a continuous process. That is how the mapping is, the technology and business.
So as we know that TGSB has also spreaded in different states. Like presently TGSB is operating in 4 states, Maharashtra, Gujarat,
Yes.
Goa and
And recently
Karnataka.
when I left, before that it was my commitment to have one more state in the Madhya Pradesh. So we will be starting operation in Madhya Pradesh.
Madhya Pradesh as well. So how tough it was to start a business in some other state to adapt to those conditions?
In fact, that is the transition. In fact, Thane Janta to TGSB. When we started opening branches outside, one thing we realized that people don't know Thane Janta. And Thane Janta means you have that regional name, like a bank from Thane, a small bank Thane.